Hey, welcome. Today, we are diving deep into a super interesting startup idea. It's one that's really trying to fix what a lot of people feel is the totally broken, kinda soul-crushing world of app development. We're going to be talking about a brand new kind of MBA, one designed to turn founders into builders, without them ever having to write one single line of code. So, let's just start with the big question, the one that I think haunts so many would-be founders. You've got this incredible idea, right? A vision that you know could change everything. But then, you just hit a wall. So, is the dream of building an app, is it fundamentally broken? Well, for most people, the data suggests the answer is, unfortunately, yes. And this number right here is a huge reason why. $300,000. Yeah, that's a typical cost to build an app the traditional way. And that's not just a number, that's a dream killer. It's basically a giant wall that locks out thousands of amazing ideas before they even get a chance to see the light of day. And someone like Naval Ravikant just lays out the brutal reality here. He basically says you have two terrible choices. Either learn to code yourself, which is incredibly hard, or just burn through a ton of cash on developers, even for a small project, all while your competition is just flying past you. It's the ultimate trap for a non-technical founder.
Okay, so this brings us right into our first section, the founder's nightmare. We're going to dig into the real, validated, gut-wrenching pain points that make the old way of building an app feel like you're walking through a minefield.
And this is where it gets really personal. This quote, it's from a founder on Reddit. This isn't some business school case study. This is a real person who torched their life savings. It just perfectly captures the insane financial and, honestly, the emotional toll this takes. It's not just a business problem. It can be a life-altering disaster. So the reality here is just brutal, and it hits you from all sides. Actually writing the code? Super hard and stressful. Trying to hire good developers? An absolute nightmare. The timelines? We're talking 6 to 12 months minimum. And all of this just leads founders straight to burnout and, like we just saw, potential financial ruin.
But wait a minute, you might be thinking, what about no code? Isn't that supposed to be the magic fix for all of this? Well, let's jump to our next section, because that so-called savior, it has its own hidden traps. Welcome to the no-code trap. And this lays out the classic bait and switch perfectly. I mean, the promise is incredible, right? Build fast, build cheap, no coding required, anyone can do it. But the reality, as so many founders have found out the hard way, is a whole other kind of nightmare. You hit this complexity wall, where the tool just can't do what you need. You get locked into their system, and pretty soon, you're facing a super expensive, time-consuming rebuild from scratch. And this right here is the gut punch. I mean, when the CEO of GitHub, a real heavyweight in the tech world, confirms it, you listen. He's saying, sure, these tools help you get started. But when it's time to actually scale, to build a real company, and get serious investors, you're right back where you started, desperate for skilled developers. And that's when the trap snaps shut. Okay, after all that doom and gloom, it's time to make a pivot. We've laid out the founder's nightmare, we've exposed the no-code trap. So, what's the solution? Let's move into section 3 and see what this new approach is all about. Enter the Vibe Code. So what exactly is it? Well, the Vibe Code MBA isn't just another tool or some online course. It's being pitched as a complete system, like an accelerator program. The big promise is to take a founder from just an idea to a real business with recurring revenue in only 12 weeks. And they do it using no code and AI, but, and this is so important, with these crucial layers of expert mentorship and community. The whole solution really breaks down into 3 key parts. First, there's a custom launch platform to handle all the tech stuff. Second, and this is absolutely critical, you get one-on-one mentorship from people who have actually scaled apps to millions of users, because tools are useless without a strategy, right? And third, you get a community, so you're not going it alone, which helps fight that burnout that kills so many startups. It's a system that's literally designed to fix every single failure point we've talked about. And who's behind all this? This is a huge piece of the puzzle. The team isn't just a bunch of theorists. These people have been in the trenches. You've got a CEO who's actually scaled an app to 2 million users, a CMO who knows how to make money. We're talking over $10 million, and a COO with tons of experience building educational platforms that actually work. They've lived the exact problems they're now trying to solve. Okay, so the idea sounds solid, the team is legit, but let's be real, they aren't the first to have this idea. So what does the competition look like? This brings us to section 4, a crowded battlefield. We need to see if there's actually any room for them to play.
So if you look at the market, it's kind of broken up into pieces. You've got the platforms like Bubble, which are just the tools. Then you have the education companies, which are just the courses and tutorials. And then you have services that will sell you templates or just do the work for you. The key takeaway here? Everything is in its own little box. It's all siloed.
And this is where their big move comes in. While all the competitors are just offering one piece of the puzzle, the Vibe Code wants to be the integrator. It fuses the platform, the expert coaching, and the community all into one single powerful engine. Honestly, it's the difference between someone selling you a bunch of car parts versus someone handing you the keys to a race car, ready to go.
So we've got a huge problem and what looks like a really unique solution. But how big is the opportunity, really? All right, let's get into Section 5 and talk about the money. We're talking about the billion-dollar prize.
Okay, we're going to start with the total addressable market, or TAM. And this number, it's huge. $329.4 billion. That's the combined global market for e-learning, low-code platforms, and no-code AI. It is literally the entire universe that they could possibly play in.
Now, let's bring it down to earth a little bit. This is the Serviceable Available Market, or SAM. This zooms in on the slice of small businesses here in the US that are their perfect target customer. And at over $1 billion, that's still an absolutely enormous opportunity. This is the piece of the pie that can realistically go after. And finally, we get to the Serviceable Obtainable Market, or SOM. Think of this as a real, tangible, near-term goal. If they could capture just one tiny % of that US market, that would bring in almost $11 million in revenue a year. So the big takeaway here is that even a small win in this market is still a very, very big business.
All right, we've looked at the problem, the solution, the competition, the market size. It is time to bring this all home. Let's move into our final section, the final verdict. What is the ultimate takeaway from all of this?
And the verdict could not be clearer. It's an absolute go for it. This isn't just framed as a good idea, it's called a seismic opportunity. And I love the language here. A chance to shatter the broken app development cycle and unleash a wave of founder-built empires. It's incredibly powerful stuff. Which really leaves us with this final, massive question. We've seen how broken the old way is, and we've walked through a potential new path forward. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Can a program like this, one that combines the right tools with real mentorship and a strong community, can it truly create the next wave of tech empires, built not by elite coders, but by passionate founders with a vision? The potential is just staggering.